If you're anything like me, then you've got a bunch of random minifigs in your collection that you don't know what to do with. I've got Star Wars figs, superhero ones, and so many others that I really just don't use. So today I'm going to try to turn a bunch of these characters into medieval knights, wizards, and other fantasy creatures. I'd like to get started first with none other than the Caped Crusader. Batman shares a lot of similarities with the LEGO Castle icon known as Basil the Bat Lord. They both wear goofy bat helmets and a lot of black and gray on their armor, so naturally their minifigure parts blend together beautifully. I'm making two different medieval Batman in this video, so for my first one I went with the classic knight route. I went with the animated series Batman as the base, and I replaced the arms and legs with parts from the Vampire Knight collectible minifigure. The animated series Batman is by far my favorite Batman figure that LEGO's ever made, and it works especially well with the parts from the CMF. The Vampire Knight's legs are nearly identical to Batman's original ones, but it's got some more appropriate printing for a medieval knight. As for the head, I decided to go with this Jawa one from Star Wars. It gives us these bright yellow eyes that go so well with both versions of Basil's helmet. I think the original helmet from the 90s is my personal preference on this figure, but I'd love to hear which one you all like more in the comments. I could kinda go either way, but I think the boxier look of the 90s one fits a medieval Batman better. Anyways, next up we're going to take a look at this Harley Quinn Dragon Knight mashup that I made. I took the Dragon Master's torso from Magisto's workshop, and I mixed in some parts from the animated series Harley Quinn. The black and red legs from Harley and this dragon torso are a match made in heaven. They go so well together, and even though this is a pretty simple looking figure, I really like how she turned out. I also went ahead and made a more medieval looking wooden hammer for her that I think really ties the whole character together. Moving away from superheroes for a second, let's take a look at my LEGO Castle version of Darth Vader. Since Jedi and Sith are basically the Star Wars equivalent of wizards, I thought it made perfect sense to turn Vader into a classic LEGO wizard. I used one of these red dragon torsos, and then I added on some printed arms from an official Vader fig. For his accessories, I gave him some metallic neck pieces and shoulder armor to mimic his helmet, a wizard's hat, and a Sith holocron to go with his staff. I love how tall he ended up looking with all the neck accessories giving him more height, and in my opinion, he is extremely recognizable as a medieval Vader. Though I wish I had this old printed wizard's hat from back in the day, it would go so perfectly on this figure. Continuing with the Star Wars theming, I want to show you some Mandalorian knights that I made for different castle factions. Up first are a couple of Red Dragon Knights. This guy here uses almost entirely the parts from one existing figure. The only things that I added here are the accessories. Gar Saxon is one of my favorite Star Wars figures of like the past decade, I want to say, and frankly, he just works as a fantasy knight if you remove the jetpack. I didn't have to do much to this guy to make him look medieval, and I think he turned out looking awesome. The other Dragon Knight that I made uses parts from The Mandalorian and a set of silver armor from Harry Potter. I think it all fits together pretty nicely, and I also threw on these dragon wings onto the side of his helmet. These come from an old set from I want to say the late 80s or early 90s, and I think they look really cool on the Mandalorian helmets. They sit fairly loose on there, but it's such a sick look that I had to try it. Next up is another medieval Mando that I made using parts from Bo-Katan. Her armor is fairly futuristic looking, but I don't know, it kind of works for this horse knight. Even failing that, I still think this is a really cool looking figure with a killer beard hair combo that I've never tried out before. Anyways, next up I've made a simple Falcon Knight with pearl dark gray armor from Din Djarin. The bits of dark brown and metallic printing blend so well with the chainmail torso that I used, and I'm pretty happy with how this guy looks. He's definitely one of the more basic figs from this video, but I think he looks solid. Next up, we've got a Black Knight Mando that I made with parts from a few different Star Wars figs, and also gave her an Egyptian khopesh as a weapon. I really love how this figure looks. The bits of blue on the shield go so well with the helmet. I think this is a really good looking character. And now to finish off all of the Mandalorian Knights that I made, I've got this crossbowman that I made with Boba Fett parts, and the brand new Kraken Knight figure. The colors go together really nicely, and the cape from Boba already feels medieval on its own. I'm very lucky to have this older version of the Boba cape because I don't think they've made one in like close to a decade. And next we've got a Kraken Knight that I made by taking the helmet and armor from Merrick. This obscure Star Wars character that I kind of forgot about, to be honest with you, has two super medieval looking molds that are exclusive to him. The helmet looks especially good and has this late medieval era style that I adore. I know LEGO probably won't do this, but they should really bring this helmet back in some other colors like regular silver. Castle fans would go crazy for it. Moving away from Star Wars, I've made a fantasy Batman creature. For this one, I used the creepy looking body and legs from Aegean Ocean, and I've also given this Batman variant a pair of black wings and the same helmet we looked at earlier. I won't lie, this version of Batman is a bit of a stretch, but I still really like how he looks. He's got this creepy Halloween vibe that I'm really liking right now. And next up, we've got probably the figure that I am most proud of making in this video. He's pretty simple looking, but look at this torso print. This is actually the back print of a Mr. Freeze figure. It looks so much like a medieval cuirass that, honestly, if you didn't know any better, you'd probably think this was an official castle print. It just straight up looks like a custom print that you get from somebody like Cult Bricks or K-Town Bricks. I love how it turned out, and I wish this torso was easier to come by because it would be so fun to army build these. Next up, I've made a giant Fright Knight by taking the hair from a Hagrid minifigure and then simply just placing it on top of some shoulder armor. Normally, this hairpiece looks really out of place on a standard minifigure, but with the help of shoulder pads, it looks so much better. The black fur cape also helps to give him some more width on the sides to fully sell the look. And that's all the figures I've made for you today. I absolutely love taking figures from different LEGO themes and trying to turn them medieval. I've done it a ton on this channel, and I hope you enjoyed this video. If you did enjoy the video, why not subscribe? I'm trying to hit 45,000 subs by the end of the year, and it'd mean a ton if you subbed. I've got a bunch of more fun medieval LEGO videos coming soon, so stay on the lookout for those. Finally, a big thank you goes out to my channel members Gyojo, Faisal, Rio Bricks, Walktermeister, Sam, Ryzen Covers, The True Emperor, Clunk, Peter, RPG Game Slayer, and all of my other members for supporting the channel. You can find more information about YouTube memberships in the description down below. And as always, thank you all so much for watching.